Hi everyone. So here in this particular video, we will be seeing that how we can exactly configure the master and slave architecture for the Jenkins machine. So here we have the Jenkins server which is created, and this is the T2 medium machine which we have created. On this machine, we have already installed the Jenkins software. Okay, so here I can directly go to the public IP. I can take the public IP, and as the Jenkins runs on the 808 port, I can try to see application is running here. Okay, here we can see that on 8080 port in the browser I can access the Jenkins application. Now I have already set up the credentials, so let me simply log into the Jenkins machine. So after signing, I have just entered in this particular Jenkins server, and now what we have to do is we have to simply set up the slave machines for this master. Okay, now what exactly the master and slave architecture is? Let's just discuss that first. Okay, so here we'll understand first what the master and slave architecture is. Now you can just imagine something that or take the time. Okay, like whenever we are building the things on the Jenkins server, so it goes like we have the code. Okay, so let's say here we have a developer, and what developer is doing, developer is pushing the code from his PC to the GitHub location. Okay, and as soon as he push the code to GitHub, basically we clone the code on a Jenkins server. So here we have a server, and here we also have the Jenkins tool running. Now the next thing what we are doing is, so whatever we have to do, like building of the application or building of the Docker image or anything that work related activities, we are doing it on this particular server. That's a Jenkins server. Now what we are thinking of, that it might happen that let's say you have a multiple people working in the same team, like a multiple team, let's say 2 to 3 developers we have, or few of the devs engineer we have, and for testing purpose, for some of the different things, they are also using this server, the same server they are using it. And during that process it might happen that there is a lot of load going on this particular machine, okay, as a workload. So already a Jenkins server, Jenkins tool is running. Along with that, let's assume that here one engineer has pushed some changes and one of the pipeline is triggered, and the building of the application is happening on right now on this single server. Okay, parallelly one more developer has pushed something to the server, and then again the new pipeline has triggered, and like that maybe just assume that two of the parallel pipelines are going on. Okay, now in this case, okay, in this case your Jenkins server might be getting into, like, will have some good amount of load, and then server may get crash, okay, or server may get hang up. So we may face such situation, and to avoid that, okay, to avoid that, what we can do is we can bring some solution where this Jenkins server itself will act as a master server. Okay, so here the Jenkins server is not going to take the participation in just doing the workload. It will give the instructions to some other machines. Okay, so here we are trying to build something like a master and slave architecture, wherein your slave machine, so just assume like here we can create multiple slave machines, like 1 2 3 multiple machines we can create, and those multiple machines, okay, these slave machines will be doing the workload for you. So wherever we have to build a application or build a Docker image or any kind of such workload will be taken care by this other machines. Okay, now here you can see that let's say this Jenkins server, okay, will be providing instructions that on which particular machine the workload should be taken care. So again, Jenkins is also having its own algorithm to handle such situation. Or we can also do something with the labeling. Okay, we can also decide on which particular machine we would like to build the things. And here in this case, this Jenkins machine will act as a master server, and your slave machine will act as a like a slave. So where this is the place where your workload will be taken care of. So this is actually a concept of the master and slave, where we will be building few other machines along with your master node, and here workload will be taken care. Now one thing here we need to understand, and what's that? That this Jenkins machine has to provide a load here, right? Like here, the Jenkins server will be doing or will be providing instructions to the slave machine. So how Jenkins master will provide the instructions? So basically here we need to do some authentication, like something like authentication, right? Like how this master machine, okay, will be able to provide instructions to the slave machine. So here this machine has to be authorized, right? So first of all, we will be doing something. We have to do some authorization with the SH key. Okay, that's the first thing we have to take care of. Second thing, here there has to be someone who will be able to understand the instructions provided by your Jenkins master machine. Okay, and who will do that? Like who will understand those instructions? Basically here we required one agent software. Okay, here we required a Jenkins agent software. That agent software will understand the instructions, and that's how this display machine will understand all of its instructions. Okay, so this is in this way we will be building the slave machines. Okay, so first of all, here we require two machines. Okay, we require two machines. Now we, while creating this machine, we will take care of the something called as sh part. Okay, how exactly like what keys with which the slave machines are getting created, and we have to do something related to sh. Will discuss that later. And the second thing, after creation of the slave machines, okay, you need to install the slave software, like slave agent here, or rather than saying slave agent, I can say the Jenkins agent software. Here we need to install. And now that Jenkins agent installation will be taken care directly by your Jenkins master machine. You just need to be authenticated properly. Okay, SH has to be done properly. The rest of the all things will be taken care automatically. Now, one more important thing here is we need to understand that agent software, the one which we have to install like later, okay, that will be taken care by Jenkins. Okay, that runs only on the, like, that requires a Java platform, underneath Java platform required. So here the OpenJDK has to be installed. Okay, so Java has to be already running here on this machine so that your agent software will run properly. Okay, so just make sure that you have already installed Java and then launch your node. Okay, so here the slave machines are also called as nodes. Okay, slave machines is also called as nodes, or you can say the slave 01, 02, like that. You can just give name, and you can also assign some labels to each machine. Okay, like say the first machine you're calling, you wish to run the, let's say you wish to build a Java application, so you're giving the label as the Java label. For second machine you wish to give the let's say the other label, let's say Python application you want to build, so you are giving the label as Python. Okay, and while building or while giving the instructions from the master machine, you can decide where you wish to actually build your like where you would like to build your app job. Okay, so that's something we can decide. So we're gonna see all of these things while in a demo. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it on a demo. Okay, so first of all, here at this point we don't have a machine at all. Okay, we just have the Jenkins server. Here you can see the Jenkins server we have. Now next thing what we will do is we will create two extra servers, okay, as a slave machine. So what I'm gonna do here, I'll just go and I'll launch the instances. So let's launch it. Here I'll give some name, let's say the slave machines. Okay, that is what the name I'm giving. Okay, slave machine. So this name I'll give it. And the operating system, okay, let's say here we'll choose the operating system as Ubuntu 1. For the slave machine, as per your choice, you can just choose which one you would like to go with. Here the instance type T2 micro is good, I think. Okay, so T2 micro is the which is a free tier eligible machine. We'll go with this. Next thing, here it's asking us for login. Okay, now logging is a very important thing here. Okay, try to understand. See, from your master machine, from your Jenkins master machine, the Jenkins server should be able to log in to this other machine. Okay, so that's what the that is what the main important thing here we have to understand. Now we need to choose a particular key pair. Okay, we need to choose particular key pair. Okay, for which the private key we should be able to provide it. Okay, and now here what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a key pair by ourselves. Okay, we're gonna create a key pair by ourselves. Okay, and how we can generate a key pair? So you can just imagine something that here. Okay, first of all, how the key pair can be created. Okay, how the key pair can be created. So the command for key pair creation is sh hyphen keygen. Okay, so this is the key pair command creation you can just do with the sh-keygen. This is the command with which we can create a key pair. Now after providing this particular command, we get two kind of keys. One is a private key and other is the public key. Okay, after executing this particular command, we get two kind of a keys. One is the private key and other is the public key. Now here this two keys, okay, we will be utilizing in such a way that first of all, like wherever we launch the AWS machine, okay, wherever we launch the AWS machine, so we gonna give this particular public key to the AWS machine, okay, and the private key is the one with which we should be able to log into this AWS machine. Okay, so that's what the idea is. So here we just required any of the Linux platform, or in fact on Windows machine also, on git bash you can execute this particular command to generate a key pair that should be providing you the private and the public key. Okay, now once you have generated the key, private and the public key, okay, what you will be doing, you will be providing this public key to the AWS platform, and once you have provided, there onwards, like the whichever machine here you are talking about, like to create, okay, so you will be creating those machine with the help of this public key. Okay, and here you have the private key. So only this private key, okay, only with this particular private key we should be able to log in to that machine. Okay, so this is what we have to do. So first of all, I need to generate a key pair. Okay, I need to generate a key pair, so I can use any of the Linux platform to execute this particular command. Okay, sh-keygen is the command that I have to execute. I can use any of the platform. Okay, like I can use either any one of the Linux machine, or I can use the like here right now I'm working on the Windows machine, so I can use the git bash. Okay, so let me generate a key pair on the git bash. Okay, so here I'll just close the existing git bash terminals, and here I'll create the I'll just open a new git bash session. Now what we're gonna do is, like here on desktop, on any of the flow folder, I'll just create a key pair. Okay, so let's say here on the desktop, if I do ls, I'm having, let's say, the repo. Here is the repo folder I'm having. I'll just go inside the repo folder, and inside that, here I do already have so many folders. Okay, like here you can check. So I'll just create a new folder to create a key pair. Okay, so let's say mkdir, I'm creating a new directory, and I'll just create a directory with the today's date. Okay, so it's a 18th Feb. Okay, I'll just say 18th Feb. I'm just like creating in the random folder name. I just need a particular folder where I can create the key pair. Okay, so I'm just creating the new folder with the 18th Feb name, and I'll just go inside that 18th Feb folder, and here right now we don't have anything. Okay, you can see after putting ls command I don't have anything here, so I'll just note down the path. Okay, so this is my current path. It's under the C directory. It's a users. Under that we have the mole as a user folder. Okay, under that on the desktop, under repo folder, we have created this new folder, that's 18 Feb, and on this particular path we will be generating the keys. Okay, like how I can generate a key pair. So it's a sh-keygen. This is the command that we're gonna use. Okay, sh-keygen, this is the command with which we will be generating the key pair. Okay, which is supposed to give us the public and the private key. So let me press enter, and now by default it's generating the key pair at this location, but we don't want to generate a key pair at that location. Okay, so here we have, this is the path. Okay, like this is the folder path we have, so I'll just provide that path, and what the key pair name you'd like to give. Okay, you can just decide. So let's say on this particular path we'll say, let's say slave key. Okay, that's just a key name I'm giving. Okay, so it's a slave hyphen key, that's a key name I'm giving. Okay, and just press enter, and just press enter one more time, enter. Okay, so it's a, so here what, like how I have generated a key, it's a very simple process. Just say sh-keygen, and after that here I have provided a path. Okay, and the name of the key is a slave key, that name we have given, and just press enter twice. Okay, and you have generated. So here you see your identification has been saved to this particular path. Okay, so under this particular folder, repo 18th Feb, slave key is there, and this is the private key, this is the public key. Okay, if I do ls here, you'll notice that we have the private and we have the public key. Okay, both of the keys available here. Now next thing is what here we will be using these keys, okay, the private and the public key. So as discussed here, okay, we gonna give the public key, okay, we're gonna give this particular public key to the AWS machine, okay. So let's do it, okay. So I'll be providing here, this is a public key I'm having, so I need to provide this particular public key to the AWS, okay. So let me do that one first of all, okay. So I can show you the public key. The public key will look like this way, okay. It's a I'm just showing you the key with cat command, okay. And if I press enter, you can see this is what my public key is, okay. This is what my public key is. So I need to store this public key with the AWS, okay. So let's do that one. Here I'm gonna copy this particular key, okay. So I have copied it, and next thing I'll be providing it, okay. So here in the AWS, so what I'm gonna do here, I can just go and search for the EC2, okay. So like once you are on the EC2 page, okay, here on this particular page, on if you just scroll on the left hand side, okay, you will notice under the network and security option you have one key pair option, okay. So just click on that. Just give me 1 second. I think I have lost my internet connection. Side page, if you observe, okay, under the network and the security section, you see the key pair option, okay. So just click on that key pair option, and what here we have to do is we have to basically add the key pair for your slave machine, okay. Now how we'll be doing that? So here in the under the access section, okay, we need to import the key pair, okay. If you see here, from this particular path, okay, I have copied the public key. Just make sure that that whichever the key pair you have generated, okay. So this is your public key, this is your private key, okay. And here I have copied the public key, and I'm gonna import this public key, okay. So just say action import key pair, and then you can give some name to your anything, the name, okay, as per your choice. So let's say this is I'm giving the machine name as a slave machine key pair, okay. So that's what the name I'm giving, and here I'm gonna paste that particular key pair. So let me say Control V, and here I have pasted that key, okay, great. Now here I'll say import key pair. So we have successfully imported the key pair, okay. Now this particular key pair we have provided to the AWS from our end, and now the next time whenever we will be creating the key pair, so we will be using this particular key pair, okay, for especially for creating the slave machine. This is the key pair that we're gonna use, okay. Now why we are doing such thing? Because just try to see here, we just required a key pair, okay. We need to have a key pair that we have to provide to the Jenkins machine, okay. And that's the reason what we have done here is we have created a key pair by ourselves. This particular key pair here we are providing the public key, and the private key pair we're gonna give it to the Jenkins machine, okay. Ahead we're gonna give it to the Jenkins machine. So we'll see that where exactly we have to provide, but right now here you can see that we have provided this key pair, okay. We have provided this particular key pair to the AWS for now. Next time, okay, with this particular name, this is the key pair that we're gonna use it for creating the AWS machine, okay. So let me click on the instances now, and we're gonna launch, okay. So here you see launch option, we're gonna launch the key pair. So here I'll say, like, let's give some name to our key this slave machine. Let's say slave machine, okay. So this is the name we are giving it. The operating system I'm choosing the Ubuntu one. The next thing here, the T2 micro is good, okay. And then here, okay, the key pair, okay, that's the important thing. Here this time we will be choosing the slave machine key pair, okay. This is the one we have imported from our end, okay, great. We will be launching the instances in the default VPC and all, okay. So I'm not selecting any extra option here, okay. We are allowing the SH from anywhere, that's fine, and 8 GB is enough, okay. So we have to launch two machines, right? So here what we said is that we will be launching the two machines, okay. One is the slave 01, slave 02, like that we will launch it. So let's say here I'll say the number of instances that we have to launch, I'll say 2, okay. And like this we'll be launching two machines, okay. Let's say launch instance now, and here at the same time two of the machines will get launched, all right. So here you see that successfully initiated launch of instance. So both of machines are getting launched, And here if I check, so this is the one machine I'm having. I'll put the filter as a running, so I should be able to see only running machines. Okay, here you see that slave machine first and second. Okay, for just understanding purpose, what we'll do is I'll just uh, rename this machine name as slave machine 01, and for the other machine I'll give the name as 02. Okay, great. So here we have the both of the machines available with us, and we should be able to log in to this particular machine only with our keys. Okay, so if I show you, if I scroll down, you will notice the key pair we have used. This is the slave machine key pair. Okay, and this key pair we have here in our Windows machine. Okay, so I see here, this is my laptop. Okay, on the laptop, if I do the ls, okay, in this particular folder I'm having also only with this particular key. Okay, only with this particular key I'll be able to log in to that Jenkins machine. Okay, I'll show you. So am I able to log in? Okay, is that keys are working properly? Let's see. So here I can consider public IP, and here I'll say sh hyphen I, and the key pair, the key name here, it's a slave key, and Ubuntu is the username we have for login, and I'll just paste that key pair. Okay, so with this command I will try to sh to the slave 01 machine. Just press enter. It's asking, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Just say yes and press enter. Okay, and boom, see that we successfully able to log in to the slave 01 machine. Okay, so the key is working. Okay, key is working perfectly, so that the demonstration is the key pair is working fine. Now next thing, what I said, if you recall here in the demonstration, what I said is that in later stage the Jenkins machine has to install the Jenkins agent here on the slave machine. Okay, and to run the slave agent, okay, that Jenkins agent, you require the Java software. Okay, so Java has to be already installed, Java has to be already running in these machines, okay, the slave machines, so that we will be able to install the Jenkins, or Jenkins master machine will be able to install the Jenkins agent on the slave machine. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's do one thing. Here we will install the Java okay, directly, and okay, for that what I'll do is here I'll say sudo su hyphen, and next thing what I'll do is here I'll say apt get update. So here I have switched myself with the root user. Okay, and here I'll say apt get update and apt get install. So we have to install JDK, open JDK. So here I'll say apt get installed the open JDK 11 JDK. Okay, so this is the package name we have for the JDK. Okay, if you are not sure about the package name, okay, you may search here directly on the internet. So like what's the package name we have? Okay, so you may search it like the package name of JDK 11 for Ubuntu, something like that. If you search, okay, so you should get something like this. Okay, open JDK 11, and I'm just like installing the default version. Okay, I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, so now next thing is okay, I'll also give the auto prol with the y hyphen y. So let's install it. Now it will take some time for installation. So here we are done with the JDK installation on the for the slave 01 machine, and the same way in the background I have also done it for the slave 02 machine. Okay, so it was a simple command that we use it. That's a it's a open that is the apt get install open JDK 11 JDK. Okay, so this is a package name. With this particular package name, we are done with the installation of the Java 11 on both of the machine. Okay, now the next thing what we have to do is we have to add both of these machines. Okay, both of these machines we have to add as the slave 01 and slave 02 in the Jenkins tool. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So here first of all I'll just close this window, and now what we're gonna do here, like this is what the dashboard is look like, okay, of the Jenkins tool. Next thing what we'll do is here I'll just click on this manage Jenkins option. Okay, now inside that we have the nodes option. Okay, here you see the adding, removing, okay, all of these options we have here. Okay, so you can just click on this node option, and now here we have to add both of this machine, that is slave 01 and slave 02 machine. You can just click on the new node, and you can provide some name to your machine. Okay, let's say here I'm giving the slave uh, 01 as the machine name, and I'm also saying this is the permanent agent. Okay, so we'll add this particular machine as a permanent agent. Just click on the create. Next thing is that here I will provide some description. Let's say this is the slave 001 machine. Okay, we have it. And what is then the next thing here, it's asking me to provide a number of executor. What does it mean? So that how many the pipeline, okay, like should be running on this particular machine, like whenever we'll be triggering the pipeline. So let's say we might be interested to run two parallel jobs at the same time. Okay, so you can just put that number. Now depending on your hardware, okay, how big or small machine you are considering for your slave machine, okay, you will be choosing this number. So in our case it's just a T2 micro machine, so one count is good. Okay, so I'm just keeping the one single number. So we should be able to run, or we should be able to build the one job at a time. So what does it mean? Okay, fine. Then it's asking me to provide a remote root directory. Now for what purpose? So whenever our job execution will be done on the remote machine, so in that case here it is asking me what the remote directory should be. Okay, so here I'm saying like /home/ubuntu is my like I'm just like keeping any of the path. Okay, so this is a place on the remote machine where we are going to like save the logs or anything, any such activities, whatever we have to do, like cloning the code and everything. Okay, that will be done on this particular path. Fine. Then here it's asking me the label. Okay, like from your master node, like master has to decide where exactly the job should be running. Okay, like we can tell that master that let's say slave 01 or slave 02 machine. Okay, where exactly? So we are here, we have to provide a label name. Okay, you can provide your label as per your choice, the label name. Okay, let's say here in our project we say, just say like slave 01 machine, will keep it for Java project, slave 02 machine will keep it for Python. Okay, so like that we can differentiate on the label name as per your choice. You can just decide whatever label name you would like to keep it. Let's say Java is the label name I'm giving for this particular machine. Next thing I'm just like providing the option, use this node as much as possible. Okay, so the slave 01 machine, I'll be using it as much as possible. Then launch method. Okay, how we would like to launch this instance, like, okay, see here what is the meaning of this slave machine. Okay, let me explain to you. So here you just think about that we have to launch. Okay, so here we have a Jenkins server. Okay, here we have a Jenkins server. Now Jenkins server, and also here we have the slave 01 and slave 02 machine. Okay, now this slave Jenkins machine has to install here the agent software. Okay, agent software here we have to install, and for that purpose we have already installed the Java on both of the machine. Okay, so Java is installed here on this machine, and here on this machine also Java is installed, so that I have done it in the background. So on both of the machine we are already done with the installation of the Java is already done. Now the next thing what we have to do is here the agent software should get installed. Okay, and for that purpose we need to provide some authorization. Okay, and if you remember, like with which key we have downloaded or with which key we have created this machine, so we have that key pair on your local machine. Okay, on your local machine, that's so this is on this desktop. So we have one folder repo, inside that we have the key pair. So that key pair here we need to provide. Okay, so I'm gonna say here launch method. Which launch method here I'm gonna prefer? So I'm gonna say here the launch method, launch agent via sh. Okay, so this is with this way we are going to launch your instance. Okay, now next thing it's asking me
like which is the machine, okay, for which is the slave 01 machine. Okay, so you can put the IP. So let's say here we have the slave machine 01 IP. Okay, this is the IP we have, so I'll put this IP and on this machine. Okay, so here I'll paste this is the IP for which we are interested to, like this is what the slave 01 machine IP is. Okay, now next thing here, the Jenkins server has to log in from your master to the slave 01 machine. So we need to provide the credentials. Okay, so here you need to add the credentials. So you will do what, you'll say add Jenkins, and here what kind of a credential you have to add. So you can choose, let's say it's a SH username with the private key. So this is the credential you will adding it. Provide the ID. Okay, now you can provide any ID. Let's say slave machine is the ID that I'm putting. Okay, as per your choice you can put the any of the ID. This is just for identification purpose. You can provide some description. Okay, you may say this is for slave machine. Okay, now just remember, okay, you should be always providing a description, so that based on your description, okay, based on your description you will be able to identify for what purpose you have added the key. Okay, so it's always a good practice that we should mention the description. Fine, the next thing is what it's asking us the username. For login purpose, the what username you're gonna use, it's Ubuntu, because we have launched the Ubuntu machines. And next thing, it's asking us to provide a private key. So you may put here the private key entire directly, just say add. And if you remember, at the start of the session we have generated a key pair with the sh keygen. Okay, so we'll go to that particular path and we will take the key. I'll open the git bash one more time. Okay, and we have saved the key pair on the desktop. I'll go to desktop. Under that we have the repo folder, and under that 18th is the fifth is the folder where we have the kept the keys. Okay, so you see here, this is the private key we have. Okay, so let me open the private key. Here the slave key. Okay, and this is the private key we have it. So you can copy this key. Okay, you can copy this whole key, and I will paste this particular key pair here. Okay, I'll paste the key pair here. So just paste it, and yes, I'm done pasting, and say add. So we are done with the credential creation. Okay, and now here in the credential you see that we have the option that is the Ubuntu. This is for the slave machine. Okay, so I have added that particular key. Now next thing is what it's asking me host key verification strategy. Okay, so I have to put that the host key, it's a non-verifying strategy. Okay, why? Because if you might observe, like whenever you're connecting from one machine to the new machine, it always asks at the very initial stage that are you sure you want to connect. Okay, and you say yes and then press enter. But here in this case, when a slave machine or the master machine is trying to connect to remote machine, there is no one to say yes. That's the reason here I'm saying non-verifying strategy. Okay, basically it will directly connect. Alright, next thing it's asking me that about the availability. So I would like to keep this agent as much as online possible. Okay, so I'm saying that yes, and I will save it. Okay, so here we are done with the configuration of the slave 01 machine. And if I click on that, okay, so at this moment you see here clock difference and everything is like written as NA. If I click on that slave 01 machine, so if everything is good, okay, you see here we don't have anything, or we get the option here relaunch. Okay, I'll just go one step back, and here you see that we have the machine in sync. What does it mean? That we have launched the machine with the perfectly. Okay, like we have launched or the slave 01. So here slave 01 configuration is done perfectly. That's the reason you see here the in sync. So what does it mean? Now master node should be able to give the instructions directly. Okay, the same way we have to configure the slave 02 machine as well. So just click on the new node. Okay, and we don't have to put the whole configuration. Okay, you can say just provide some name to your slave 01 02 machine. So okay, say slave 02. Okay, then say copy existing node, and here you can like put that existing configuration. So it's a slave 01. Okay, slave 01 configuration will get copied to slave 02. Okay, so I'll give the similar name here. Let's say slave 02, and I will say create. So see here the name is came, and everything is copied from your previous node. Okay, the only difference I would like to make it here, like I'll just change this name as Python. Okay, label I would like to pin it, let's say Python. The IP of the host machine is going to be different one. So let me take the IP of the slave 02 machine. So it's a slave 02 machine. Here we have the public IP, and here I'll provide it IP also. Great. Now next thing is what? Here the credential is gonna be the same one. Okay, everything is same. So I'll say save. Okay, we are done with the creating, or we are done with the providing the configuration for the slave 02 machine also. Okay, so agents 02 you see here, and we have the option here relaunch. If by any chance there is some problem, you may click on here in the relaunch. Okay, but let's see if it is, we have the in sync. Okay, you see here we got the in sync message, means what, that there is no problem at all. Okay, we are good with the both of the machines. Okay, slave 01 and slave 02 configuration is done. Now next thing is we can simply go and build your job. Okay, you can click on the dashboard. Let's create a new job. I'll say new item, and here you can provide some the job name. I'll say, let's say slave machine demo. That's the name we are gonna give for this machine. And I will click on the freestyle project. Okay, let's say okay. Now this time I don't want to build the thing on my master node. Okay, like here is the master node. Okay, this time I would like to like build, just this building of the job has to be done on the slave 01 or slave 02 machine. Okay, we can decide. So you can provide like this description is what, this is the demo for slave. Okay, something like that. Then like what exactly option is there in your Jenkins pipeline which will decide like where exactly you would like to build your job. So here you have an option, that is the restrict, where this job can be run. Okay, you just tick mark this one, and you can mention the label. So you have the two label, right? One is the Java, other is Python. So let's say if you wish to build the things on the slave 01 machine, here you will mention Java as the extension, Java as the label. And as soon as I mention, okay, here you will see Java label matches one node. Okay, so we can see that one node matches here. Great. And then further you can mention your source code and all of these things you can mention as usual. Okay, like here will not do that. Okay, just say build step, and here I'll say execute shell. Now within that I will just mention a very simple command. Let's say echo, and here we'll say this is like this job is running on slave 01 machine. Okay, so I'm just like printing some message. Okay, that's it. And I'll say save, and this time we will build a job. Okay, let's say where the job execution happens. Okay, so here I'll say build now. Okay, here I've just click on the build now. Okay, here you see the job building execution is done because there is nothing much to do. Okay, it's just a echo message it has to print. Okay, so if I just click on the console log, okay, let's see where the building is happened. So you see here building remotely on the slave 01 machine. Okay, so like this way that you are done with the building of the job. Okay, so you done it how you basically created, or you basically like building of the job is done on the slave 01 machine. And like that, if you mention the Python label, then the job could have built it on the slave 02 machine. Okay, so this is the way that we can decide where the execution of the job should happen. And we have successfully done the building of the job on the slave 02 machine. Okay, so yes, this is the way that we can set up the like master and slave machine. Okay, and yeah, so this is the demo that I want to talk about for the master and slave thing. Okay, so I hope you guys will understand this. Okay, if you have any question you can ask it. And yeah, I hope you like this video. Okay, so yeah, have a good day.